The air in the practice room was stagnant and smelled of industrial floor cleaner and desperation. Hana watched a single bead of sweat slide down the mirror, tracing a path through the thin layer of condensation. Behind her, the 4 other members of LUMINOUS sat on the floor, their breathing ragged and synchronized.
The final notice came in at 0900 hours.
The manager said, staring at his tablet as if it were a death warrant. He did not look them in the eye.
Global Trend Cosmetics has officially ended the contract.
He continued. The silence that followed was thick enough to suffocate. Hana didn't move. She remained in her final pose, a statue of a performer whose stage was crumbling. Why? Hana asked, her voice sounding dry.
Market changes.
The manager replied.
They say our image no longer fits their plans.
Hana finally lowered her arms, her muscles trembling from the sudden release of tension. They mean we are not making enough money, she clarified. The youngest member, Yuna, let out a small, muffled sob that echoed against the mirrored walls. Hana turned sharply, her eyes flashing with a cold, protective fire. Stay calm, Yuna, Hana said, her voice sharp. We are still under contract until the company says something else, she added.
But Hana,
the manager whispered,
the company is the one who leaked the disband rumors to see people's reaction.
Hana felt a cold chill settle into her bones, a frost that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. Then we are being sold off, she said, her tone flat. 30 miles away, the Kanghan Group skyscraper pierced the sky like a needle of glass and steel. Jin-Woo stood in the center of the executive elevator, watching the floor numbers climb with mechanical precision. He adjusted his tie in the reflection of the polished brass doors. The doors slid open to the 100th floor, the chairman's sanctum. 2 security guards snapped to attention, their heels clicking against the marble. Jin-Woo marched past them, his stride measured and rhythmic. He reached the double doors and paused for exactly 1 second. He pushed them open. Chairman Kang was standing by the window, his silhouette cutting a jagged shape against the morning sun.
You are 30 seconds early.
The chairman noted without turning around.
I'd like to be on time, sir,
Jin-Woo replied, standing at a rigid 45-degree angle from the desk.
Being on time is for subordinates.
The chairman turned, his eyes like flint.
I care about results.
He gestured to the sprawling city below.
Versailles Mall is my legacy, Jin-Woo. It is just an expensive empty building right now.
Jin-Woo remained silent, knowing better than to interrupt.
The public sees us as old money.
The chairman continued.
They think we are outdated. We need a trigger.
The chairman barked.
A face that connects our past and the new era.
He slammed a fist onto the desk.
I want a name by the end of the day.
He ordered.
Someone who can make people spend a lot of money.
I have already started the process, sir,
Jin-Woo said, his voice steady.
Do not give me a celebrity.
The chairman warned.
Give me a god.
I understand.
Jin-Woo replied.
Then leave.
Chairman dismissed him.
Do not come back until the contract is ready.
Jin-Woo exited the office, his heart hammering against his ribs. He walked down the corridor, his face calm and unreadable. Only Secretary Choi, walking 3 paces behind, noticed the slight tremor in Jin-Woo's hands. The chairman is in a bad mood today, Choi whispered.
The chairman is always in a bad mood when he senses weakness,
Jin-Woo replied. They entered Jin-Woo's private office, and the electronic lock engaged with a heavy thud. Jin-Woo immediately went to his terminal and bypassed the corporate firewall. He opened a private, encrypted tab, the Solo_Vibes Command Center. The news feed was a bloodbath. Luminous management scene meeting with bankruptcy lawyers. Fans gather outside agency in silent protest. Jin-Woo's eyes scan the headlines, his pupils dilating with a mixture of fear and opportunity.
They are trying to hide her,
He hissed, his voice losing its corporate polish. Sir? Choi asked, standing by the door.
The agency is letting her go because they think she has reached her limit,
Jin-Woo explained. He began pulling up internal Kanghan financial spreadsheets.
If I make Luminous the main face of Versailles Mall, I can skip the usual marketing cost.
He calculated. Director, that is a big risk, Choi warned. The group looks bad to investors right now. Jin-Woo turned the screen toward Choi, his expression intense.
Bad means cheap.
Jin-Woo countered,
She is not a celebrity, Choi.
quoting his father.
She is a god.
He stood up and grabbed his coat.
Prepare a partnership deal.
Jin-Woo ordered.
Use money from the emerging markets reserve.
What about the chairman? Choi asked, sweating.
I will present it as taking control of a weak asset.
Jin-Woo said.
He will like how aggressive it is.
But sir, Choi stammered, you're doing this to save her. Jin-Woo paused at the door, his hand on the handle.
The reason does not matter.
Jin-Woo said, his voice cold again.
The only thing that matters is that by tomorrow, she belongs to Kang Han.
He stated.
And I,
He whispered to himself.
will be the one in control.
Back at the practice room, Hana was alone. The other members had gone to the dorms to pack, fearing the worst. She stood in front of the mirror and began the choreography. No music, only the sound of her sneakers squeaking on the wood. 1, 2, 3, slide, she whispered. Her reflection looked back at her, hollow-eyed, exhausted, but undefeated. Hana finished the move and collapsed to her knees. I'm not done yet, she told the empty room. I'm just getting started. The lights in the practice room flickered and died, leaving her in total darkness. Outside, the rain began to fall, washing the city in a cold, gray light. The next day, Hana walked at the center of her group, her heels clicking against the marble in a rhythmic. Behind her, the members of LUMINOUS moved like shadows, their faces pale and their spirits brittle. Stand straight, Hana whispered, her voice sharp and firm. We are not here to beg, she added. We are here to make a deal. The heavy doors swung open, operated by 2 security guards who stood like stone sentinels. The air inside the room was thin, cold, and smelled of expensive. At the far end of the glass table sat the man who held their lives in his hands. Director Kang Jin-Woo did not look up when they entered. He stared at the tablet, showing no emotion at all.
She is here. Why does it feel so hard to breathe? My heart is beating too fast. Hana, she's wearing that outfit from the spring collection. She looks like a queen, not someone losing everything. Don't look at her too much. If you smile, it's over.
Jin-Woo slowly lifted his head, his eyes narrowing into a sharp, icy glare. He didn't greet them. He didn't offer them tea. He simply stared at Hana as if she were a problem he needed to solve. Sit, Secretary Choi commanded, her voice echoing in the hollow room. Hana took the center seat, crossing her legs and leaning forward, refusing to look away from Jin-Woo's gaze. Director Kang, Hana began, her voice steady and professional. I believe you have reviewed LUMINOUS. Jin-Woo said nothing. He leaned back in his chair, his fingers interlaced, his expression one of boredom.
I'm doing it. I'm acting like the cold air. I'm pretending I don't have 5 of her photo cards in my drawer. But why is she looking at me like that? Her eyes are full of anger. She thinks I'm the enemy. It hurts.
The silence stretched for 60 seconds. Then 90. The other members of LUMINOUS began to fidget, the tension becoming a physical weight. Is this a meeting or a test, Director? Hana challenged, her eyes flashing. If you only want to stay silent, we have better things to do, she added. Jin-Woo's jaw tightened. A vein in his temple began to throb.
She's angry. She looks even more beautiful like this. I want to tell her she's doing well. I want to tell her the deal is already decided, but I can't. I have to stay cold.
Jin-Woo reached out and gripped the edge of the glass table, his knuckles turning white. He leaned forward, his face inches from the light, his glare deepening into something that looked like pure malice. The director thinks your value is low, Secretary Choi translated. Hana's breath hitched. She recoiled as if she had been struck. Low, she whispered, her voice shaking with anger. We have been #1 for 3 years, she argued. Our fans stay loyal. Jin-Woo stood up abruptly, the sound of his chair screeching against the floor like a gunshot. He didn't say a word. He walked to the window, turning his back on the room, staring out at the city he was destined to rule.
I feel sick. I made her upset. Her eyes almost filled with tears. I'm the worst.
Hana stood up, her palms slamming against the table. "Look at me, Director King," she shouted. Jin-Woo froze, his back still turned. "If you are going to destroy us, say it to my face," she demanded. "Don't hide behind your windows and your secretary," she added. Jin-Woo slowly turned around. His face was a frozen mask of indifference, but his eyes were not. He walked back to the table, picked up a fountain pen, and slid a thick stack of papers toward her. He tapped a specific line on the final page with a sharp movement of his finger. "Sign," Secretary Choi said. Hana looked at the papers. Her eyes widened. It was a 2-year, exclusive global deal with a signing amount bigger than their last 3 years combined. "Why?" Hana asked, looking up at the silent man. "You look at me like you hate me," she said. "So why give us this?" Jin-Woo didn't answer. He turned and marched toward the exit, his steps precise and controlled. He disappeared into the hallway without a single word. Hana remained in the cold room, the pen trembling in her hand. "He's crazy," she whispered to the empty air. "A rich, powerful man who hates me."